Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. The Mirror Child. In the sprawling city of Neonhaven, where towering glass spires pierced the purple dusk and hollow ads flickered like restless ghosts, Mira Vaughn's life had thrummed with the pulse of normalcy. She woke each day with the hum of hover traffic below her apartment, brewed synthetic coffee, and labored in a tech archive where ancient data was reborn for new generations. Yet in all her familiarity, Mira had learned to dread one peculiar constant: the boy in the mirrors. Not a reflection of herself, not a trick of the mind, but an unmistakably separate presence. A boy who appeared in every mirror, alone, and who aged while the world around him spun relentlessly forward. Mira first noticed him 5 years ago, when the boy was no older than 10. Staring back at her through the apartment's translucent mirror panel in the bathroom. She was brushing her teeth and pulled a face. The boy returned her blank look, pale skin shining under the ghostly light, hair dark and slightly tousled, his lips parted as if about to say something but staying silent. At first, she thought it must be a glitch in the reflective interface, a rare anomaly in the advanced tech that lined the city walls and windows. But as days turned into weeks, she saw him everywhere. In the storefront glass, the mirrors of the underground transit hub, the polished surfaces of hovercars. Always alone, always the same boy, but growing older with every glance. What unnerved Mira more than the boy's constant presence was his aging. The slow but undeniable transition from child to adolescent to something nearing adulthood. If 5 years added only slight changes, then his face during those years had aged nearly 6, as if his time was measured differently from hers. His eyes, a piercing gray, seemed to hold infinite sadness and a knowledge that stretched beyond his years. At times, she thought she saw tears forming but never falling, frozen in digital sorrow. The city around her thought her worried over nothing. After all, mirrors were tools, devices, not supposed to hold secrets. Yet Mira knew better. The city had its ghosts. The AI controllers that monitored and maintained the holographic reflections certainly had no explanation. There was no data on a boy appearing independently within their systems and changing over time. Mira's co-workers laughed when she spoke of it. Mirror child? Sounds like a glitch in your neural overlay. Maybe you've been working too many hours. But the boy could not be reduced to a hallucination. She tested the mirrors, covering surfaces, looking away and back again, and the boy stayed. He showed no recognition of Mira. No change in expression when she moved around, but something inherent in him watched her, indifferent yet aware. One evening, burdened with sleeplessness, Mira sat before the largest mirror in her apartment, the one that served as both reflective glass and interface for her personal environment controls. The boy appeared as always, now aged roughly 15, eyes shadowed and haunted. She stretched out a cautious hand, fingers trembling slightly, and her reflection rippled as she touched the glass. The boy did the same, pressing his palm where hers met the surface. The two palms aligned but did not meet. For a moment, Mira felt the pulse of a barrier thinner than light, separating their worlds. "Who are you?" she whispered, voice barely audible in the humming quiet of the apartment. The boy's lips quivered but no sound came. Then, in the glass, tiny letters shimmered into existence. "I am waiting." Mira blinked, heart pounding. She reached for a voice command to activate enhancement, but the boy's image shifted rapidly, as if fearing detection. Days passed. Mira grew consumed with the mystery, retreating from work and friends, drawn deeper and deeper into the enigma. She began to seek out every mirror in the city, hoping for clues. One rainy night, under the chromatic glow of neon signs blurred by damp streets, her breath visible in the cool air, Mira found the boy standing not behind the glass, but within a cracked display in a forgotten alleyway, the reflection fractured by shards but still whole. Approaching cautiously, Mira whispered, "What are you waiting for?" The boy's image shifted and flickered like a dying hollow projector, then stabilized. His voice was a soft tremor carried in the reflective surface. Time. Time for what? She pressed her finger against the broken glass again. To return, he replied faintly. I am, a part lost in the stream. A chill washed over Mira. What stream? The mirror stream, he said, now clearer, framed by fractured light. I was once real, like you, but caught between moments. Each reflection is a shard of my existence. The boy explained without words but through images invoking memories within Mira's mind. Visions of a child playing with light on a sunny field. Laughter caught in the wind, then shattered into millions of reflections, frozen outside of reality and slipping through the cracks of time. He was a casualty of a failed experiment in temporal encoding, a child captured in the liminal space between now and always. The mirror stream was a fractured dimension where moments paused and lived indefinitely in reflections. The boy was every age because his essence stretched through the fragmented time, longing for reunion with his actual self. Mira's scientific mind sought logic and solution. The boy was trapped, an echo in a fractured quantum mirror network accidentally created by the city's advanced optics labs decades ago. The technology that powered Neon Haven's shining skyscrapers, interactive glass, and pervasive virtual interfaces had introduced a rare anomaly. A space between dimensions where reflections became something more. Over the next week, Mira conducted experiments remotely linking the city's main reflective substrates, attempting to trace the quantum signature of the mirror child. She realized that disrupting his temporal anchor might allow him to escape the reflective limbo, but the process involved high-risk rewiring of quantum field generators embedded beneath the city streets. The authorities dismissed her concerns as fanciful nonsense. She was alone. Determined, Mira enlisted the help of Dex, an underground tech hacker with contacts in experimental physics. He was skeptical but intrigued, drawn into the enigma by the mysterious boy's image captured in his own augmented reality lenses. Together, they descended into the neon-lit underlevels of the city, weaving through labyrinthine pathways beneath the towering glass monoliths. There, amidst a tangle of multi-dimensional projectors and quantum servers, Mira and Dex found the heart of mirrors. A massive core device orbiting the threshold between dimensions, generating the illusions and reflections the entire city depended on. It was here the boy's existence was tethered. Operating the controls, Mira felt the weight of responsibility. She hypothesized that by recalibrating the harmonic resonance field they could realign the boy's essence with the physical timeline, extracting him from permanent reflection. It was untested, dangerous. A wrong frequency could shatter the mirror network, plunge the city into darkness, or erase the boy's existence entirely. With a shaky breath, the sequence began. The crystalline lights of the core shimmered as frequencies intertwined in radiant harmonics. The boy's image in the reflective interface across the room flickering wildly. The mirror child's face twisted momentarily in pain or fear, then steadied, eyes wide as he looked directly at Mira, his lips moving silently as if to speak. The light around him expanded, growing from a glass prison to a glowing presence before the mirrors dissolved like mist. Then, there was a heartbeat of silence. And standing before Mira was a boy. No longer contained in glass, no longer a shadow of a reflection, but real and breathing, blinking uncertainly under the harsh fluorescent lamps of the Undercity. Who am I? His voice was barely a whisper, fragile as the first dawn breeze. His eyes searched Mira's face, recognizing something buried deep within the silence of years. You're free, Mira said softly, overwhelmed. You're the mirror child. He smiled faintly, tears glittering on his cheeks, as if remembering fragments of a forgotten dream. A life paused between moments finally begun anew. For the first time in what felt like eternity, the boy took a step forward and touched the solid ground with small, trembling feet. Outside, Neon Haven's gleaming windows flickered, lights shimmering like stars. Time, at last, was mending what had been broken. For more stories, like and subscribe.